okay.
On the top of our streaming service, it says that we're live on my Facebook feed and we're live on YouTube. And I don't understand why we're not there.
Why we're not there? Oh, well, it's the Matrix.
Oh, it's working.
We didn't.
It's working?
Yes.
Yep. It just popped up on my phone.
So it's just delayed. It's delayed.
Because we didn't change from Sunday when we were over. We didn't change the title. We didn't. So it was confused. Yeah, it was the dashboard was confused. I clicked the button.
The Matrix was confused.
And now it works.
The
Matrix is confused. Oh my god. Yeah,
so,
I'm getting confused on my phone, so I don't understand what's happening.
All right, so here's an example. Okay, so the theory is that none of this is real. This is all a computer simulation, that everything that we have and we feel, that everything that's going on is just part of a simulation. And we're living in a computer world, just like in the Matrix, how everybody assumes that the world around us is real, but it's not. Everybody's like secretly like in some kind of tube out there, or they're unconscious, and this is just and this is just basically, just a simulation that we believe is for whatever reason. Either it's just a program, or we don't really exist, or we believe that we're actually real, but we're not. But anyways, an example of a glitch. And so,
did you not ever play The Sims?
No.
What?
But
it's a computer game. Anyways.
Anyway, so one example is someone gets up to go expel some urine, and then they're walking down the hallway or whatever, and then they see that their walls in their house are all yellow, and it's like, what the hell? Like, it was blue. And then they're confused, and then they're going and they're looking around. It's like, why the hell is everything a different color? And they start looking at pictures, and then it's a different color than what they thought it was. It's like, no, it was like, I painted this myself, and everybody's like, what are you talking about? And that's like a glitch in the Matrix. It's like, well, that's an example, by the way. It's like, no, it's not like that. It's always like this. There's a certain glitch. Or you walk into a room and it's a bedroom, and you're like, no, this is the bathroom. And it's like, well, nope. Like, all of a sudden it's different. Like, this is no longer, you know what I'm trying to say? Like,
yeah, it's always been a bathroom. Yeah. And then one day you go in there and it's completely
and it's completely different. You're like, what the hell? There's people around the world that have been put in institutions because they're like, I have a brother and blah, blah, blah. And they're like, no, you don't. So, like, you have a sister. And it's like, no, I never had a sister, and they get locked up because they're like, you were insane, So it's just one of those things where you kind of look at it and you're like, damn, this poor schizophrenic person. But then you're like, what if they're saying, what if what they're saying is true? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, okay, considering this Matrix, so I've had my own experience with something which I can't figure out what happened, and I've recalled the story before on the show, and I don't know, is this a glitch in the Matrix? So I think I told you guys about the story of when I was in Jackson Hole, and there's a place in Jackson Hole where you can go see the bighorn sheep. And you can drive back that road. There's a road when you go past. I can't even remember what direction it is in Jackson, but you can drive back there, and it's a dead end road. You have to turn around, and it dead ends at a ranch. And there are no roads off of this road, and there are no trails off of this road because there's a fence line for this private ranch that kind of surrounds this area that the bighorn sheep like to hang out in. But you can drive back there on this road to the dead end, and you can see the bighorn sheep all over the rocks and everything. And just happened that I was with two friends, and we were back there, and there was no one else back there, no vehicles back there. And we had gone to the end, and we had turned around, and we were coming back towards Jackson, and we were stopping and taking pictures, right? Because there's all the sheep in this one area. And I noticed a bicyclist behind us, and he was on like a road bike, and he had a yellow jersey on and the black bicycling shorts. And he had stopped kind of behind my Jeep, and he got off his bike and he was taking a drink of water and he was looking at the sheep. And we just nodded at him. No words exchanged. He nodded at us. We nodded at him like, hey, how you doing? And then I got in to leave.
Like on heroin, you nodded off?
Yeah, that would be it. And then we got in to leave, and I get into the Jeep and I look in the rearview mirror because I wanted to make sure where he was, because I was going to pull out into the road and keep going. And he's gone. And so I stopped and I'm looking all around, looking at all my mirrors, and he's gone. And so I asked the two people who was with me, I said, do you guys see? I'm like, where did he go? And they're looking all around. There's nowhere to go. There's nowhere to go. And he did not pass us. He's not in front of us. And he's no longer there at all. At all. We all three of us the Jeep and we're looking around like, where the hell did he go? Because there's no trails. Where'd he go?
Wow.
What if that's like his thing? What if he goes out there and he's like, okay, here they come, and the nod. Hey, how are you guys? You know, whatever the hell he says, and then you guys are talking, then he just dives like somewhere, and he like grabs the bike and he puts stuff on top of it, and then he's just watching you guys like a pervert, just watching you guys like in the bushes. You know.
Could you imagine?
And that's his thing.
He's been like, I've been riding for 6 hours. I'm bored out of my mind. I'm gonna mess with these guys.
Yeah. And so eventually people find him, and he has like his pants around his ankles.
Oh, whoa, no!
Anyway.
What?
So what I wonder is, was he really there? Yes, because there's two other people who witnessed him being there. Was he an apparition? No. I mean, he's sitting there drinking. He was a living human being. He nodded at us. We nodded at him. We're all looking at the sheep together. We're all having a good time, and then poof, he's gone. Where did he go? And is he still alive? That was my question.
What if you guys saw like a ghost, or just?
I don't think he was. Hey, Alex.
Yeah, the good old poof gone.
Yeah, I don't think
fingers and poof, he was gone.
I don't think this guy was a ghost. I don't think he was an apparition. We had too much of a physical, like if you're standing 20 feet away from me, I would know you're solid. You're a human living solid person. It's different.
Are you sure he didn't fall down the mountain?
Imagine.
Are you sure he didn't fall down the mountain or something?
But it's flat there, so you're in the valley floor.
Oh, okay.
Did
he fall in a hole?
David, that's a really good question. I don't know. I don't think he was. I think he was a living Uncle Fred. I don't think he was dead Uncle Fred.
Could you imagine? You guys are like, listen to the beautiful sound of the bighorn sheep, and you guys all listen. All hears.
The whole thing is just so weird. I don't know what happened to this dude.
And as you hear the bike just fring fring, and you're like, wow, look at that beautiful sound.
Okay, here's another thought. Did he pop up somewhere else? Did he go through like a rip in the Matrix, and then he did pop up somewhere else and go, what the fuck am I doing here?
Okay.
Like a Nancy Pelosi's house?
Goes with that.
Yeah, okay.
Careful.
Like, get me out of here, man.
Yeah, what are you doing? You're in your underwear and you're holding a hammer.
Oh, no. Oh God.
But could he have? Could he have? I mean, Dirty Birdie, when you were researching this, like different glitches, do people just pop up randomly somewhere else?
Yeah, I came across one where there was a couple, and they're in traffic, and they're looking around, and they see a guy walking down the sidewalk, and they're looking at him, and this is like 2022. They're looking at him walking down the sidewalk, and she nudges her boyfriend, and she's like, "Look at this dude." And they're looking at him, and he looks like he just wandered out of 2001, like the beanie cap and
like you right now in 2024.
Yeah,
I was gonna say, like, what do you mean, like
your dress?
something like that? Yeah, the Junko jeans, the skater shoes, whatever. And they're
Okay,
like, check
Peter
this
Peter.
guy, what a goofy looking dude. And as soon as she started saying, what a goofy looking dude, he stopped and started looking around like, where the heck am I? And they're both freaked
Why am
out
I?
because
He's like, why am I
she was-
dressed like Bam Margera?
Yeah, exactly. And they're like,
Yeah.
oh my God, he heard us. And they're both saying, oh my God, he heard us. And they turned around and looked and he was gone. Just
So,
So-
Weird.
okay. So there is a really fascinating story that Dave Pilates did put out of a guy
The
who was
exercise guy?
skiing. No. You don't know who Dave Pilates
He's
is?
no, he's wearing spandex and he's got that underwear that goes over the spandex.
What the frick are you talking about? No.
You've never seen the Pilates videos that they used to like, and one,
my
2, 3.
God.
No.
No.
That's his
Anyway,
last
this is
name.
a really cool story. One of the people who
Like-
went missing, who was out of New York, and he was skiing with friends. Seriously, what is going on with you, Pecan?
Who? Wait, what do you mean? I mean- No, I didn't. I just said, what do you?
Okay.
No, it's me. I'm carving an arrowhead out of a piece of bone. See?
He's always
No, that's
saying
not what I
something.
heard. Anyway.
Oh.
So
So a glitch in the matrix. You're insane.
yeah, it was one. So there was a guy who was skiing in New York up by they made that stupid movie about the alligator was eating everybody. Lake Placid. He was in
Lake
Lake
Placid.
New York, and he was skiing up there with a bunch of friends, and he went missing, and they couldn't find him. He could not find this man, and he showed up like 8 hours later in Sacramento off Highway 80 in his ski outfit, and he had no
How?
memory of what happened. And this guy's been interviewed. He was like, he's like, he's still in his ski clothes. They have no idea. In 8 hours, it would take you. You couldn't get there from. You know what I'm saying?
There's no
To
way.
get
Yeah.
to an airport, to get to a flight, to get to Sacramento, it would take you more than 8 hours. And he was in a ski clothes. He's like all his ski garb on. He's like, what happened? He couldn't. No one knows to this day how he got to Sacramento. He was off Highway 80, like in Roseville, Sacramento, and I don't
Wow.
know what happened. What
He's probably he was probably or he was like messing around with someone's wife and they're like, where did he go? And he's like, I disappeared. The Matrix, got me, and that's why I'm wearing your clothes.
Yeah, maybe with their own private Learjet. I don't know how else he could have gotten to
Yeah,
Sacramento.
there's no way.
No. So those are the kinds of things that are just freaky. So is that what happened to this dude on the bike? Did he and he's gone and somewhere else in the country and can't figure out how he got there? Because his bike was
Or-
gone too.
Or the guy
Maybe he
from
ended up in Florida.
Birdie Story. The guy that rolled in from 2001. He's over there dressed like a thrift store.
There you go.
He just went to Goodwill, right?
He went to Goodwill, just like
He's
me.
walking to Circle
Yeah.
K to get a slushie, and all of a sudden, boo, he's 20
Circle K.
years into the future, and he's like, "The hell am I?" And then, boop, he's back in 2001, probably frying his poor little brain.
And can these glitches explain why people go missing and the presumed dead because they
never
never
found.
show up again? And where do they
You
go?
mean-
Do their brains get scrambled and they don't know who they are? And I don't. It's scary to think about something like this happening.
Yeah.
Or,
I'm not scared,
or
bro.
most people, they're just like, you know what? Where I was living sucked. I hated my job. It's a fresh
And
start.
then
I'll
yeah, it's
say
a fresh start.
I mean, it's
Now,
kind of- you don't know who you are. You have no money. You have no means of living. How?
You're probably going to be homeless or in an insane asylum.
And it's
Yeah.
more likely. Yeah.
You could be one of those
Nothing
guys that's how you end up being like a gay for pay kind of guy because you're like stuck in the wrong timeline.
Oh boy,
What?
that
I don't
took an
Know
entire
that I
left
really
turn.
know what you're talking about.
What? Oh, not me, bro. I'm asking for a friend.
Are you sure?
Oh, shit. So just I don't know. The whole thing is
Oh
really.
man.
Do you have any more examples, Bertie?
Well, I got one. And it's called Scripted, and it goes like this. It starts out as, to this day, I can't explain what happened. I was watching TV with friends, and we landed on some old 80s movies that I used to watch over and over. Hadn't seen in a long time. I had the dialogue memorized, and it was all
the ones with Steven Seagal.
I don't think so. And it all
I thought you said
instantly
80s
came
movies.
back.
Like, hey, what's going on?
And they said, I knew what was going to be said next. Here's the freaky part. We changed channels and kept trying to find something to watch. I noticed that everything we watched was the same. I knew every line of dialogue as if I was remembering it as if I already knew it from watching it before. And then it goes on to say, here's the really freaky part. It started happening even when my friends were talking. In an instant before they said anything, I knew word for word what they were going to say. It only lasted for an hour, but it was really bizarre.
I think that's more clairvoyant. Like he tapped into his clairvoyant abilities than anything else, because that can happen. Then it was Matrix stuff. I don't know. Sometimes you can open that third eye and it's open, and then it scares the hell out of you and you just shut it down. We had a question from one of our viewers here, Alex, and he said, what do you guys think of all the portals opening up around the world? That's been tripping me out. Holograms maybe, or drones. What do you think? And then he said, in bizarre bends in reality, portals, how unrelated. So the whole portal thing, is that a glitch in the Matrix? What do you guys think on that?
Oh boy, are we mixing like I'm not even saying mixing. What do I know? But you know how some people believe in like the alternate timeline? Do you think that's like a form of a glitch in the Matrix? Like there was a German guy who, damn it, when was this? Was a year, 2 years ago? How he was talking about how he was walking around and he swears that nothing, man, jeez. He swears that that Germany won the war and all kinds of stuff, and then people are like, this guy is insane, and he's like, no, like Germany won the war and Adolf Hitler died as an old man, like all kind of weird stuff. And then this guy and it's like, wait a minute, is that a glitch or is that like an alternate timeline?
No, that's mental illness.
Or well, you think that's what everybody.
He's the only person who thinks that.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's what if well, I mean, geez. What if you guys are the only ones that believe that whole thing with the guy on the bicycle? No, you mean to tell me like there was a glitch and then he was transported somewhere else? I mean, or maybe he's just a Nazi douchebag that.
Well, no, my point is on the bicycle is that there was 3 people. We were the only car.
No, you were the.
There was 3 people who saw him, and we all discussed it. Because I asked him, like, what? So are we sharing a mental illness at that time?
Well, you guys traveled together and you guys were all insane. There's probably like some kind of a leak in the vehicle that was causing some kind of exhaust, and the guy on the bicycle wasn't real, and you guys were all having the same delusion fed in by each other. Which also, which is a lot of the stuff when they say a lot of people have the same hallucination is also because they're suffering from something that could be, like I said, some kind of gas leak or something, and then people feed into each other's like false memory, and then it's like, and then the guy on the bicycle, and then their brain begins to like, and he was wearing, you know what I mean? Maybe you guys all just had like a false memory.
Well, considering it's summer, that the windows are rolled down, and then I don't think there was a gas leak because I had the vehicle for a few more years. I'm just saying, no, because I asked him, I said, what? Because I specifically asked the people in the Jeep. I said, where did he go? And they said, the guy on the bike? Yeah, where did he go? And they're looking around. They go, no, it's not like I said, where did the guy on the bike go? The guy on the bike? They asked me who I was talking about.
Look at you sounding like that German man who swears that he saw Adolf Hitler die as an old man.
Oh my god.
Sherry, see what I put up with every week? Yeah. I'm just saying.
And
Anyway.
you flip me off? How dare you? I am nothing but
She was
respectful to
scratching
you
your head.
all the time.
She
And
was clearly scratching your forehead. Calm
Thank
down.
you, Ash. You.
don't don't defend her. This is ridiculous. What are you guys? What are you guys? Team estrogen? What the hell are you doing?
Oh,
See,
okay.
You're fine.
this is why we should hate women.
Oh my god.
This is why you should love them.
No,
So anyway,
Shouldn't be
anywho, yeah, I
dreaming
do
in
believe
the
there's such thing as shared
kitchen.
delusion. I do believe that. Okay, but because they have happened, they happen, then they're documented. They're happened, but these weird. The dude that was skiing down the slopes in Lake Placid and ended up in Roseville, California. Not a shared delusion. How did he get there?
Mhm.
He got there in a time frame that you couldn't have gotten there. That's the thing that freaked everybody out. By the time you leave Lake Placid and you get down to an airport like LaGuardia, that's like a 3-hour drive to get to LaGuardia to get onto a plane to come out to California. It couldn't have been done in that time frame.
No.
So they did the math. They crunched the numbers. They're like, there's no way this guy could have gotten there. So how did that happen? He's skiing down the slopes and then he shows up in his ski clothes in Roseville.
Ski clothes and his shirt backwards, and wear his pants undone.
Backwards?
And then the other guy's wife also has her clothes like they put her on a hurry. What is that one? Look up Hitler in South America. Oh yeah, that's like how they believe that the Nazis, the Nazis leaders fled to South America after World War II, which is also interesting because there's a lot of stories. That's a topic for a completely different show. But yeah,
Let's not
there's
get started.
well, anyways, yeah. So yeah, it's interesting. What the hell was I gonna say? Okay, there's also another thing with the glitch in the Matrix. How people take pictures of them getting on a bus, and there is 5 old ladies wearing the same colored clothes, wearing the same colored hats, like sitting like that, and they're all drinking something at the same time, in a bus, and it's like glitch in the Matrix. Have you seen those, Birdie?
Huh. That's interesting.
Yeah, so look up the pictures of glitch in the Matrix, and you see like people doing the same thing, or they're in a restaurant and then they take another picture where it's 2 people and they're wearing like the same clothes, and it's like in a row, like the same kind of clothes, and they're all like positioned the same way, like talking, and it's like, oh look, another glitch. They're all doing the same thing. You know what I mean?
That's wild. I mean, that's
weird.
Yeah.
That's freaky. And did that really happen? Or now with the ability to screw with photos, I have a hard time believing anything I see. You know what I mean?
Same.
Because everything can be manipulated.
Especially with
Yeah.
AI.
I've been fooled by some pretty convincing Polaroids where I swear this person last night was a woman, and then you.
Okay, can we just stop
maybe
that
you should
conversation
stop.
right now?
That
That's a
might be
different
really
show.
embarrassing for you.
Okay.
I was like, no, I swear it was a chick.
Mm.
God,
Uh-oh.
Then I'm
oh.
sitting there. I'm just sitting there, just crying. Like, why am I hard and why am I crying? Anyways,
Oh my God! Oh God! We're gonna every viewer we have is gonna leave.
Oh my
Oh my
god.
God!
Wow.
I can't even. Holy shit! Okay, so
Mm.
Dirty Birdie, can you save us?
I don't know.
My drink tastes like Vicks Vapor Rub.
Oh my God! Would you stop? Would you stop? So,
What?
Nothing.
oh God! Oh,
There's one more that's kind of I found interesting, and it's called
Apologies.
the disappearing phone. And it goes, one time I was standing at the top of my stairs talking to my mom down below. I dropped my phone. As it was going down the stairs, it completely disappeared. There are no cracks or spaces it could have slipped into. It's a flush wall all the way down on both sides. My mom and I were mind blown. We couldn't find this phone anywhere. 2 days later, I found it. 2 days later, I was cleaning the upstairs hall,
Did you glitch?
and yes, and there my phone was underneath my sister's dollhouse. There's no way this
What?
could have happened. That it was
That's-
absolutely.
Wait a minute.
Absolutely
He
impossible.
threw his phone down the stairs?
yeah.
Oh, he dropped it.
He
So he
dropped it.
Yeah, he
And it
dropped
went
it.
tumbling down the stairs and it
It went
disappeared.
bounce,
which showed
bounce. It went bounce, bounce. Poof. And
Then
looked,
gone?
looked, and couldn't
you know,
find it.
that's one where I'm thinking that
Yeah.
his sister
Somebody-
then found the phone and put it up under the dollhouse.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, possible.
yeah.
I thought it was gonna end up. I
Another
thought it was gonna end up different.
Yeah, Decon.
No, what? I was just gonna say like the phone was bouncing and it disappears, and then next thing you know, like there's some Italian guy and it hits him in the head. He's like, "Hey, what is going on here?" You know, and then he's, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Thank God you saved that one. Thank you.
That's it. You spaghetti eating fuck.
Oh boy.
So, the
What?
oh, Jesus.
Nothing at all.
I really think, I don't know, the fact that maybe, I mean, people think that maybe there's a glitch, that there could be some administrators out there somewhere like manipulating all of this stuff. That freaks me out. I don't like it. I want to think that I'm making my own decisions about stuff. If I'm not, that freaks me out. I don't like it.
I lost my train of thought. I was gonna say something.
Yeah.
Is that like have you guys seen the newest RoboCop that came out like in what, like 2016, 17? And how that's okay. So at some point in the movie, you know, the guy who's playing Murphy, he's going around, he's shooting or whatever, and this guy talks about how he basically is controlling him, and then he says he thinks he's making decisions, but he said it's the ultimate illusion of free will. He's actually inputting the way that his brain is thinking. You know, that's like, yeah, he thinks he's making decisions, but he's not. You know, the guy's just typing in like, shoot this guy first, and then do this and that. And like, do you think that it's something like that with the Matrix? Like how you believe that you're making decisions, but somebody's actually putting those. You know, like, oh, they think they're making their own
like
decisions.
that.
That's even creepier than what Colleen said.
Yeah.
Really?
You have kind of
No,
puppet
isn't that the
masters.
same thing I'm saying? That
He
we
just
think
made
we're-
it and like just twisted it into the darkest way.
Yeah.
There was a comic book in the 1980s that was called, it's actually a graphic novel, it's called Watchmen. And on there was a character named Dr. Manhattan, and he basically has like every power. He can see past, present, future all at the same time. And then he says he was talking about how in the end we're all puppets. Only he's the only puppet that can see the strings. You know, and
Ew.
so it's like it's
don't like that at
such
all.
a good. It's such a good quote. I like that. He says we're all
I
puppets.
just don't
and
like-
only.
I don't like
I'm the
thinking
puppet
about
that can see the strings.
somebody having control over me. I mean, I know we all have a
No.
level of control over us, right? Our boss, our job,
Yeah.
the government, right?
You-
But still,
or
we
you're
still
tied up
allegedly have free will.
in a bed.
What is wrong with you? God almighty.
What? I'm not.
That's another show, okay? Just saying.
This is a glitch in the Matrix. What are you talking about? I'm not saying
I
these
don't know
things.
what's wrong with you, but
I didn't say
still-
these things at all.
Anyways.
I still think that we have what I believe, at least here in America, that we have free will, right? We can move from state to state. We can move. We can pack. We can go and do things. We can go on road trip. Whatever, right? So,
Unless you're a
what
Democrat.
if we don't? What if somebody has ultimate control over us? That's what freaks me out, man. I don't like that. I don't.
No
wanna
one
even
feels
think
this.
about that. Huh?
Well, I mean, again, it's.
Like no matter
what
where
did you
you
say?
run, no matter where you run, there's always going to be some kind of like roadblock or something like that.
Or somebody impeding your.
or just somebody saying you like say I want to move to Tennessee. That's my dream, right? But say somebody goes and puts the screws
Tennessee?
to it. And says, no, you can't do that. Shut up, you. Okay, do want to go to Tennessee?
The only reason why I would, not me. The only reason I would go to Tennessee is if I want to feel like genetically superior to everybody.
Whatever you.
Tennessee
Oh,
is
just
beautiful.
say it. Okay.
I'm like,
But what
look at this. I'm the only one not related here. It's like when you show up. It's like when you show up at a place, you know, and there's like a bunch of people that don't speak English, and you're like, look at this. I can read and write in English. And in Tennessee, you can, if you're from outside of Tennessee or Arkansas, you know, you're the king because you can read and write.
I don't think that's the way it is.
No, I would only go to Tennessee if I wanted to like become a country music singer or something, you know?
Oh, Nashville's pretty.
Nashville is pretty,
Nashville
but I
is
don't want to go to
amazing.
Nashville. Okay, just saying. I want to go on the North Carolina border. What? Why is this about me? Look, I just saying. My point was.
I don't know.
That what if I? That's what I wanted to do, and we have some puppet string master who won't let you leave.
That would suck.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
See,
Can
but
you
that's
cut the strings?
oh, as a puppet, you'd fall. Yeah, well, yeah, but I mean that's the freedom that we have as Americans. Is that our biggest fear is that we don't have freedom compared to anywhere else in the world. Like you know, like in Russia, when you're like, could you imagine if you're free and you're able to move around? They'd be like, what do you mean? Why would I not want later to be, like what am I going to do? Sit there and think for myself? I don't know when to drink water. You know,
I guess maybe that is our biggest fear, right? Here, anyway.
Yeah,
is not
yeah.
That freedom of choice
because this is the greatest country,
truly is.
right?
But yes,
What do you
Totally.
What do you think, Trump? The greatest country. I look at it and say, wow, what a country. I walked in here and I said, wow, look at this beautiful country. And so, I mean, with that's what? Well, that's all I said was,
that's
what a
actually
country.
pretty good, Deacon. I just gotta say, it's pretty good.
Oh, I was gonna say, I was gonna do my.
Good.
I was gonna say my Obama like Constitution. What's that? Anyways, so anyways, no, it's just an interesting way to look.
Sorry, I'm done.
The Holy Quran. Anyways, no, it's just amazing how you're able to look at these kind of things and you're like, damn, like what if we're in a simulation? And then if you think about it long enough, you slowly either A, like think it's a stupid idea, or B, you're like, damn, like what if we are? Because what is that? I forget. There was a scientist out there that was crunching the numbers. He says it's more likely for us to be in a simulation than for us to not be in a simulation.
Oh, no way.
No, I don't. Like
Yeah.
that at all.
That's gross.
Yes.
Hawking?
Who was
What?
that?
Stephen Hawking?
No.
Or
No, it wasn't Hawking. It was who was the guy that made famous the string theory? Is it Peter Higgs?
Higgs boson?
Anyway, so he was saying
I
that
know.
it's more likely. I'm pretty sure it was Higgs. He's the one that was talking about, string theory and also quantum physics and how everything moves not together in a straight line, but reality actually moves in waves. But anyways, so the point is,
Witten? Edward
So-
Witten? I don't know.
no, Higgs. Anyways, so they were talking about how if you crunch the numbers, it's more likely that we are in a simulation than not in a simulation. So if you're a person that loves numbers and you look at all this kind of stuff and you're like, damn, I could be in a simulation, and then you just got to think, because if you ever watch The Matrix, what is that line from that guy Cypher? Right? He's talking about how ignorance is bliss. And if it was, and all he wanted was to go back to sleep. And then, you guys ever seen that, The Matrix?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So his whole thing was that he just wanted to go back to sleep and then, believe that the world is what it is instead of the reality, because in reality, the world sucks, So he just wanted to go back to sleep and then have what he called a normal life or a good life, even if it's not real. It was like ignorance is bliss, And then you think like, damn, what is it about us that we don't want this to be a simulation? Like, what do we want? Do we really want freedom, or do we think that we want some kind of freedom?
So there's a good question that just came up from McKenna, and she said, assuming there's a controlling entity, they have to have an end purpose or end goal, right? What would that be based off of our history and current world climate?
Would they have a purpose or end
That is
goal?
a good question.
That's a really good question.
Well, so like and again, that ties back into religion and culture. I mean, when you look at something like Greek mythology, it turns out that everything is just a game, and they're like, "Oh, we're just moving these." It's almost like the best portrayal that they had was the gods are over there playing like a form of chess, but it wasn't chess. It was like something different. They're just moving the pieces. I mean, just like in the Iliad, not in the Iliad, the Odyssey. Homer's The Odyssey, how when he actually got hit with the wind and got moved for 20, he had to be pushed back for 20 more years. All that was just one of the gods, flicking the little piece, across the room, like out of sheer frustration, and when you look at those kind of things, it's like, damn, like, what is the purpose of it? So in Greek mythology, what it was boredom, and it was just entertainment, right? When you look at something like Norse mythology, it's almost the same concept, only it's following a certain line and a certain writing in the giant tree, like following these etching. This is the history, and there's something eating the roots, and this is just the way it's gonna go. Everybody's gonna die in the end. All the gods are gonna die in the end, because that's the story written. That's why it's happening, is because it's like a song that the lyrics have already been written, and it's gonna end like this, and there's nothing you can do. In Christianity, the reason why things happen is for God's glory. When it says, what is the chief end of man? It says to give glory to God and to enjoy him forever. So we have all these belief systems out there that, like, why are things happening? And they have completely different answers why. So we'll just never know. So in the end, or you can ask, like, why are things moving this way? It's because that's what the simulation and the program says. And that's why we're thinking the way that we're thinking, because this is how you've been programmed to think. You've been programmed to question. You've been programmed to question.
But I don't know. I mean, it's pretty heavy. Ash, what do you think? I mean,
I don't like it.
Freaks me out. I don't like it either. No.
I am not one for being controlled. So the thought of being hell no.
Yeah.
My thought is
you can't control this.
Is that if we are in a simulation, where the hell are the cheat codes? I could use some cheat codes right about now.
Yeah, cheat codes would be great.
I just want unlimited money. That's it.
Yeah.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I
No.
do, actually.
Yeah, I do.
So who has
try in a Porsche?
Unlimited money and resources. Yeah.
No, because what is the biggest rate of suicide in society? It actually comes from the wealthy, because they have no driving force for everything is handled.
Actually, it's dentists.
Dentists don't work in a factory. But
well, I'm just saying they have the highest suicide rate, which I thought
they do.
Well, yeah, and they were actually doing a study. They were doing a study where they're saying, like, okay, who commits the most suicide? I'm not talking about profession. I'm talking about financial wealth, and the wealthy actually commit suicide at a much larger rate than the impoverished. And they believe it's because
I would gladly give it a try before I die.
Yeah. Let me try it out for a year.
Because then I think about how much philanthropy I could do, right? Setting up scholarships and helping people out, and rescuing animals and having a larger rescue farm and employing a bunch of people and blah blah blah.
You know what's funny? What you just said, that's the number one thing that they all said. They all had like a list of goals, and they all had like charities, they all had programs, they all had these things, and they never did anything with it. It's like you have too many things at once.
Yeah, I have.
Well, no, they all did too. That's the one. I wouldn't. Damn. What's that old? One of my favorite poems out there was the poem of Richard Cory. Have you guys ever? How it's talking about Richard Cory was a wealthy man. He said he had everything anybody could ever want. He says he was rich, rich like a king. He says the women wanted to be with him. All the men wanted to be him. And it says in one quiet night, Richard Cory put a bullet through his head.
Wow, that got
and that's-
it.
So, well, yeah, that's the poem, you know. So anyway, going back to the
Yeah.
topic, and damn, we're almost
No.
We're
we're
almost to an hour.
well,
Like
yeah,
it's split.
exactly. Depression doesn't discriminate on your wealth or anything like that.
It said it.
Yeah.
McKenna said depression doesn't discriminate on a
Discriminate on a
financial scale.
financial scale. No,
He's right.
it
That's
doesn't. And here's a
Hey, Jess is on.
And,
she says,
Yes, you're right
Jess is,
there. You're right
Messy
there.
Jessie is watching.
You can be the happiest dude on earth with everything handed to you and be the most miserable. Or the
Maybe
richest
you,
guy
bro.
on earth with everything handed to you. You don't have to worry about a thing. And be the most miserable person on earth.
And you can also be the happiest.
maybe you.
I think that's just
Um,
a state of who you are, right?
Damn.
I
So
mean,
okay, yeah,
happiness
we've
is
gone
a
a
choice.
completely different.
You have to work at it.
Okay, so years ago there was this guy. Okay, so I don't know if you guys know, but Christianity is illegal in most of the world. So people believe that Christianity could be like the biggest. Like, actually, no, it's the most restricted religion in the world. There's, there's only a certain amount of countries. Like, for example, Russia, China, all the Middle East and all of that. It's, in Africa and all those places, it's illegal. So in Russia, the way that certain Christians meet is they meet in the sewers, just like in China, they meet in caves. So there was once a man who was a preacher in Russia. He was preaching, and they met in sewers in the dark via candlelight. And he was a very impoverished guy, right? So eventually they get him a visa, and he comes to the United States for a month, and right before his visa, expired, people are saying like, man, I feel bad for you, and you have to go back to Russia. You have to go back. And he's like, why do you feel bad for me? And they're saying like, well, because you have to go back to Russia. And he said, in reality, he says, I feel bad for all of you because you're all a slave to consumerism, and you're all a slave to material possessions, and you guys don't recognize what real happiness is unless you have. He said, so he happily went back to Russia, to live this life because his life had purpose. So a lot of so that's the end of that story. But what's interesting is there was this psychologist that said that when you're depressed and if you're struggling, it's almost like you don't have that much time to be depressed because you have to struggle in comparison that if you're a wealthy person and you're depressed, you have more time for you to feel depressed. That's why the suicide rate is so high within the wealthy, is because they have more time to think about their misery compared to being impoverished and be like, damn, like I feel really sad today, but I have to pay the rent, so I got to go and I got to do that. And you're distracting yourself, which is why the number one thing they say is if you're feeling depressed, distract yourself. And it's saying there's no more person that's more distracted than the impoverished, because whether or not you're depressed, you have to get shit done, So if that makes any sense.
Okay, I still would gladly take $1 gazillion to do all of the stuff that I would like to do. Just saying. Okay.
Is
Just give
gazillion a
me
word?
50
A
grand.
gazillion. It has a lot of zeros behind it, and I could save a lot of animals. And that would
It's
make
like
me
the
happy.
It's like the blonde that they're like, 2 Brazilians died in a car accident, and they're like, oh no, how much is a Brazilian? Anyways, damn. So
So we are almost at an hour.
yes, I was gonna say. So we gotta wrap this up. So anyways, what a crazy topic to think about. We can go on for hours because there's so many examples out there and there's so much for us to cover, but we have a very limited time, so we're gonna call this good. So yes, you're pointing finger guns at me like you're Shooter McGavin.
Before we end, I wanted to let everybody know that we also will have a live show on Wednesday nights at 7 p.m. starting next week. And it's going to be only the paranormal. and it's going to be members of Pocatello Paranormal Research. And we're going to be doing live medium readings. We're going to be doing tarot card readings. And also all things paranormal. We're going to discuss paranormal. If you have a question about the paranormal, you can bring it up on the show. And we're going to give you, based on our knowledge, maybe some ideas or tips to help you out. So every Wednesday night at 7. Until
Ooh,
summer, we will take the summer off. But so we start next week.
Sounds
Pecan, what are
sexy.
you doing?
I am putting away my arrow back into the quiver. Anyway, so
Why do they
yeah,
call it a quiver?
a quiver
Yeah, why do they call it a quiver?
Yeah, why do they call it that?
because it's not an English word. I believe oh damn, my bandage came off. I believe I think it might be Latin actually. Quiver to hold, but I could be completely wrong. Anyways, so damn, I'll have to look that up later. So that's a good question. So
Yeah, look it up. Let us know.
So anyway, yeah, so you guys, we have a Patreon, so you guys head on over to Patreon, check that out, go watch something dumb. You guys can head on over to TeePublic and check out my stupid art. I mean, if you're looking at my stuff, you could tell I'm fucking depressed. And you're like, damn, this guy is really depressed. So you guys check that stuff out. Oh yeah, I made that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is his art too.
Oh, I made that too.
Yeah,
You know what? It looks.
I like it.
I'll be really honest with you. It looks like amazing until you really zoom in and you're like, okay, there's not much thought there. Because I don't know if you guys know that a lot of the details you guys see are not really there. Your brain is just, but like a lot of my art, they don't really have faces. If you look close enough, your brain just kind of makes it. You know. Anyways. So, how dare you threaten me with violence? This is supposed to be a safe place. I shouldn't have to record a show.
What gave you the idea that
place? What are you talking about? When did this become a safe
when
place
Missy
for you?
Tracy is back on her feet, she's gonna let you have it on the next show.
She is, and
she's all over this chat message right now.
She is,
but I don't want it.
She's watching you.
Well, so
but I don't want
it. Next week,
but
7 p.m. Thursday nights, we are live.
I didn't even finish my damn.
Well, then.
So. Anyway, so yeah, just head on over, get a shirt, get a mug, get whatever the hell you want. I mean, it's all good stuff. I mean, if you like that kind of stuff, I don't, but there you go. Get a sticker, get 2 stickers, put a sticker on a sticker. I don't care. Like and subscribe.
Did you ever watch the Muppets? Did anybody here ever watch the Muppet Show?
Yes,
I did.
Not for long.
Do you remember the Pigs in Space part of the show?
In space.
When they go pigs in space, and all the Muppets on the spaceship would go because they're looking for the voice every time you do that. Pigs in Space comes right into my head. Just saying.
Now I'm gonna think about every single time I'm gonna die.
Are you done?
No.
Anyway, so if we're done with the hurtful comments, and so yeah, so next week do that. And that's all I got. Share, like, and subscribe to anybody that you feel like they might be going through a rough time, and you're like, damn, this person is wealthy. They're going through a really tough time. You just want to push them over the edge. Show them the show. Anyways, guys, remember to always look both ways, especially if you find yourselves on Nightmare Road. What?